Hey guys, how are you? Welcome to our Facebook Live for January 30th. Jody Laird, Scott Laird, and we are going to talk tonight about enzymes as we promised because, folks are trying out new diets for the new year and they want to know what to do. And so, they're finding out, well, when they try new diets, a lot of times there's indigestion and things like that because you're trying new foods. And, digestion's a little bit different. And so we are going to tell folks how this works and what's happening and why digestive enzymes are so good.
All right.
Now, the type of digestive enzymes we're going to talk about tonight are enzymes that come from Billy Weiss. OptiURX is his company, and we carry it at lairdwellness.com. And we're going to offer you 20% off these digestive enzymes. Right. We'll give you the code. Well, we'll call a code. What should we call the code? Digest20. Okay, so we don't have the code just yet. We're going to do it after we do our Facebook Live here.
So what is the regular price?
The regular price, I believe, is $27.95, $29.95, somewhere around there. So it's going to be at 20% off.
Okay.
Digest20, all run together. Don't try it right now while the Facebook Live is going on. It's not there yet. As soon as this is done, it'll be there. Okay. Yeah. So Digest20. So why do we need digestive enzymes? Why do people need to have digestive enzymes? Doesn't your body just do it for you? Yeah, to a point. There's several things that happen. When we reach age 40, for example, 30% of your enzymes that digest food that come from your pancreas decrease.
Right.
So age has something to do with it. So that's one thing.
Okay.
And just several different factors that go on with your life. For example, if you have had your gallbladder out, you're going to have more trouble digesting fats because that's what having a gallbladder is all about.
So that makes me crazy because everybody always says there's all these parts in your body that you don't need. Your wisdom teeth, your gallbladder, your
I know what you're talking about. Appendix, thank you.
You do need those. They actually all do something special to
the
body.
The appendix is really important for putting nutrients into your colon.
Not only that, but protecting you from bacteria.
Exactly. Right.
So when you are missing those parts, sooner or later other things start to happen because it's a snowball effect.
Right, and we'll explain some of that snowball effect tonight. In fact, folks who have had their
gallbladder.
Thank you, gallbladder. Had their digestive enzymes out. No, they had their gallbladder out. They are more susceptible to having diabetes for the rest of their lives too because they're not able to digest things properly, and it just, like you said, the snowball effect, right?
So isn't it true that you are born with a certain number of enzymes?
Yes, we'll get into that in just a second. Dr. Howell is the guy's name who is the expert on digestive enzymes throughout the ages here. And several decades ago, he proposed that theory, and people have yet to disprove that theory, that folks are born with a certain amount of enzymes, and as you age, they decrease, and therefore, you need to eat things, either that are easier on your system or get a little bit of help from your friends at Laird Wellness.
Or things that contain enzymes.
Contain enzymes. So what contains enzymes? Let's go right down to the basics, okay? What are enzymes? Enzymes are proteins that act as catalysts for pretty much every function in your body. Now, there's more than digestive enzymes. There's all kinds of different enzymes in your body. And like I said, they make everything happen. Having a good amount of enzymes in your body is important even for the mitochondria in your cells to work properly. What are the mitochondria? The mitochondria is the little energy factory in each individual cell. If you don't have digestive enzymes, you're going to deplete the performance of that little energy factory.
Right.
So that's one thing. So let's get specific to digestive enzymes, though. Digestive enzymes are enzymes that help your body break down the food. Every raw food in nature has enzymes. Enzymes are the life force, actually, of every living food. Right. When you cook food, like for example, you take a raw carrot, you take a cooked carrot, you put them both in the garden, are they both going to grow?
No.
Which one is not going to grow?
The one that's cooked.
Why? Do you know why?
Well, you've killed it.
You've killed it, and how you've killed it is that you have raised the temperature of that carrot past 122 degrees Fahrenheit, which means you've killed the enzymes. The life force in every living thing is very fragile. What happens to us when we get to a temperature of 104, 105?
We get really nervous.
People get really freaked out because you're gonna die. Why? Because your life force is gonna get cooked out of you essentially, and you're gonna die. And that's what happens to carrots or any living food. I'm just using the carrot as an example. So you've killed the life force that allows that carrot to regrow. You've killed the enzymes. And so any kind of cooked food, you're going, well, would a cooked food be more difficult to digest because it doesn't have its own enzymes because I killed the enzymes? You bet it. You bet it would. So now you're relying on enzymes from your pancreas to be drawn out. So we'll explain the whole process here in a second.
What about, so if you cook a carrot and you have a raw carrot, and you know that raw carrot, all the doctors and everybody says eat raw foods because they are full of fiber.
Yeah.
Is there less fiber in a cooked carrot? Because it seems like that would make sense scientifically.
The fiber is broken down because you've cooked it and it's sort of broken down the cells a little bit and opened it up a little. That's why they say to cook cauliflower and broccoli and things like that, the really hard cruciferous vegetables, they're better if you steam them because the cooking, if you steam it, when it gets really bright green, that means that the enzymes are at their peak and available to your body. Yeah, you've probably killed off some of them because it does involve heat and steam, and yes, steam is very hot. So it's going to kill off a little bit, but not all of it, because the center is still going to be okay.
So what's better? Steamed slightly or raw?
Depends on what it is. So steamed broccoli is better than raw broccoli. Steamed carrots are better than raw carrots in some respects. I mean, if you juice a carrot, for example, you're going to get all the nutrients out of it. But if you're dealing with the fiber that you mentioned, then yeah, if you're going to keep it intact and keep the fiber, then yeah, you're going to need to.
You're not going to get the fiber if you juice it, though.
That's right. That's right. So all these different factors. So digestive enzymes help your body break down the food. So any raw food has, get this, any raw food has the enzymes specific to that food to break it down. So apples have special apple enzymes that help the apple break down. These are the same enzymes that allow the apple to rot. So it's nature's way of, okay, here's the apple, it's ready to go. If you're not going to eat it and have the digestive enzymes take care of breaking it down, it'll eat itself. It will rot and go back to nature. So
perfect plan, that God.
Yeah, God's got some pretty cool stuff called enzymes. Yeah, right. It's pretty neat. Enzymes do all kinds of great stuff in the body. If you have a sufficient level of enzymes, you're going to improve the performance of your whole body. And the opposite is true too. If you don't have enough enzymes, you're going to be drawing energy away from your body. So here's how it works. When you eat something, this is why you need digestive enzymes. When you eat something, your stomach does not inherently, we always talk about stomach acid. There's really not that much acid in your stomach all the time. When your body senses that there's food coming down the pipe, it pumps in acid through the proton pump. And so that you eat the food, your body says, oh, there's food coming down, proton pump, push out some acid. So it pushes out some acid. The job of that acid is to activate the enzymes from your pancreas or from the food coming down or whatever. It creates a reaction that causes the enzymes to start breaking down the food. Okay. So if you don't have enough enzymes, so imagine this process. Food comes down, body pushes from the proton pump the acid. Acid is supposed to turn on the enzymes. If you're over 40 or have some other ailment where there's not enough enzymes in your body and you're eating cooked food, so there's no enzymes on its own in the food, your body goes, that didn't work. Push the acid again. Push the acid again. Push the acid again. So when people have heartburn and they have GERD, which is gastroesophageal reflux disease, so basically acid reflux, people call it a disease, but really what it is, it's a lack of enzymes.
Right.
That's all it is, because your body's trying to push the acid in to activate the enzymes, and the enzymes aren't responding because they ain't there, so the body just keeps pushing in acid. Is it too much acid? Yes. Why? Because it's trying to make up for the fact that there's no enzymes, and the body's trying desperately to digest this food.
And years of eating fast food
Yep.
and cooked food and never eating anything raw and getting those enzymes in is going to eventually wear down your enzymes.
Right.
So that the whole process is just...
Exactly. And where do the enzymes come from? We said from the pancreas, right? So if you stress any part of your body too much, we've often talked about this, that's the first indication of disease. It's kind of pre-disease is inflammation, right?
Yep.
You want to bring down inflammation so that inflammation doesn't turn into cell breakdown, and cell breakdown leads to blah, 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 XYZ, domino effect leads to disease. So what you said was very important about the pancreas. So if the pancreas is being stressed all the time to push out enzymes all your life, that's going to create inflammation. Inflammation of anything in the body often ends in the suffix itis.
Itis, yes.
Pancreatitis, appendicitis, appendix that is inflamed and about to burst, appendicitis. So pancreatitis, an inflamed pancreas.
Bursitis.
Right, and if a pancreas is left to just be inflamed out of control, and the cells start malfunctioning, what could lead to what's the dreaded disease, the big C word everybody hates, cancer, pancreatic cancer, from eating too many of the wrong things that were too hard on your body for too long all your life. That can happen.
Right.
So,
and is it hereditary? The big C word? Yes and no. And yes, we kind of turn those things on, and we can turn those things on and turn those things off.
You can have a genetic predisposition to a disease, but nutrition controls genes. You can have that faulty gene, and all of us have different faulty genes. Both of my parents had colon cancer. That puts a target on my back for colon cancer. It ain't going to happen to me. Why? Because I take care of myself, and I'm not going to allow it to happen, because even if I have that gene, you can suppress it for your entire life and have it never express itself if you take care of yourself with nutrition.
Right.
So you've heard of people nowadays, it's kind of a trend where if someone has cancer, if they are okay to just live with that cancer and just keep it suppressed, not remission, that's something different, but if it's just they have cancer, it's not affecting their daily lives, and it's just sitting there and not growing, that's okay. That's okay with some people.
Right.
And what have they done? They've suppressed the gene that's letting that go. I'm oversimplifying, but you get what I'm saying. So yes, you can have a genetic predisposition, but you can control it with nutrition. And here's something interesting from Michael Donaldson, who works with the Hallelujah Diet. We talked about an inflamed pancreas.
Right.
So what would be the opposite of a diseased, unhealthy, inflamed pancreas? That would be a shrunken pancreas, right? One that's down to size, behaving itself, and everything's fine. So get this. Dr. Howell, that we talked about, who did a lot of research on enzymes, and he has a book. The name escapes me at this moment, but if you look up Dr. Howell enzyme, you'll find it online.
Okay.
Dr. Howell did a great deal of research in the 1930s and 40s. See, I said it was a long time ago.
Right.
On digestive enzymes. He worked with many animals, showing that enzyme supplementation, so taking a digestive enzyme, decreased the size of the pancreas. No more pancreatitis. Why? Because we're supplying what the body could not. We're putting the enzymes in. And so that's what happens, is that either the food comes with enzymes when it's raw, or if it's cooked and or processed, we're going to need a little help to either from our pancreas or from a bottle to help us digest those enzymes. If we don't have enough enzymes, here's what happens when you get, for example, you go out for dinner with friends or go to their house, have a great big meal full of cooked food, not a lot of, what do you want to do? You go to the from the dining room to the living room, and everyone just wants to lie down on the couch, right? Because everyone's tired. Why are they so tired? Because digestion takes a lot of effort from the body to digest if there's no enzymes.
Right.
So it says pushing enzymes and acid, trying to get rid of all that food, and it takes the energy away from all the other things in your body. So here's the thing. Go ahead. I'll bring up what I was going to bring up later. What were you going to say?
Well, I'm just thinking about the amount of people nowadays that suffer from acid reflux and GERD, and everybody's taking the purple pill, and the kids are taking the purple pill, and everybody's having Tums. I mean, it's a regular day thing where somebody asks, do you got any Tums? I've got acid reflux. Could this all be solved or quelled with just by eating more
raw foods,
more raw foods,
and take a digestive enzyme if you're having trouble? Because if you take that purple pill, what are you doing? So first of all, you don't have enough enzymes. So the body is trying to compensate by pushing more acid in. Now you're going to stop the proton pump, and you're going to stop the acid in. You're going to stop your body from doing anything about this food. Right. So what's going to happen? If the body doesn't have the tools it needs, we talked about what happens to a pancreas when it's stressed. Inflammation. Inflammation leads to disease. You get cancer. You get diabetes. You get all kinds of things happening just because your body can't digest the food.
Right.
So people say you are what you eat. Kind of true. What's more true is you are what you absorb. And lots of people talk about that. I talk about that. Dr. Aaron Ernst talks about that. Billy Weiss talks about that.
Right.
You are what you absorb. How do you absorb? More raw foods and or taking digestive enzymes. Now, what I was going to say about, what was I going to say?
I don't know.
I can't remember. Darn it. Oh well. We'll come back to it. So now we want to give you a little bit of an science experiment that Billy and I did when we did a whole episode on the Health Awakening show.
And I didn't believe it was true because I'm a skeptic.
Yeah, well, we tried this last night, and it works faster than you think. So
think about it. You got a whole... And see, I don't take digestive enzymes on a regular basis.
Right.
Because I don't ever, now that I'm keto, ever have a bloating or sore stomach anymore, or never have acid reflux. Now, if I go crazy, which I haven't for about a year, and I eat toast for breakfast 2 days in a row, I will get acid reflux. But that's because my body works so well. 2 days of eating something that doesn't include vegetables will give me acid reflux. So I know I better not. But if I do go crazy, all I have to do is eat one of these after my meal and the bloating goes away. So that's how I take them, sort of not on a regular basis. But if you eat crap all the time, or you don't eat raw vegetables, maybe because you have diverticulitis or something, you take these on a regular basis.
Right. And it's better to take those on a regular basis than the purple pill.
Or
because
Tums.
The purple pill and Tums, I mean, the purple pill, if you ask Billy Weiss, in the episode that we did, he said that those pills are only designed to be taken between 2 and 12 weeks tops from the manufacturer. That's what they say. But people have leaned on it like a crutch.
Right.
To take care of their tummy troubles all the time because they're eating bad food, and that's the problem, really eating the bad food. The only thing those should really be used for, he said, is if you have a bleeding ulcer or something like that, where the stomach can't take a lot of acid, and so you've got to take it for a temporary time to allow it to heal, and then you're supposed to stop. You're not supposed to lean on these things. I remember the thing I was going to say.
What?
When your body is stressed, and you're not taking digestive enzymes, and you're relying on your pancreas to push out all that energy and all those enzymes, guess what happens? Everything in your body, your brain cells cannot replicate as quickly. Any cell in your body, I mean, we replace cells at the rate of 300 million per minute in our bodies.
Right.
When you're not taking digestive enzymes, or when you're not digesting properly, let's just say that, when you're not digesting properly, you're requiring all kinds of energy all into your stomach to digest that food, taking the attention away and all of the effort away from properly replacing those 300 million cells every minute, including your immune system. Here's the thing that I always tell people that you can tell if you're doing it wrong. So if you're on the verge of getting a cold, and you won't know that, but if you eat a lot of cooked food, you're basically taking the attention away from your immune system, and you can get sick.
Right.
Now, what's the opposite of that? Well, you'd think, well, if I'm about to get sick and if it's taking all the attention away from my immune system because of what I eat, maybe I just shouldn't eat when I'm about to get sick. That's a good thought. When you are about to get a cold, or you're sneezing, you're like, uh-oh, I'm getting something. The minute you realize what's going on, fast. Just 24 to maybe 48 hours, that's it. That's what I try and do. If I'm on the verge of something, I'm like, whoa, stop eating. Why? Because if you're not eating, you're not involving the pancreas to push out any digestive enzymes. Therefore, all of the power and attention of every bit of caloric intake you've got in your body is being pushed toward the immune system that's in an emergency situation. Right. So, yes, fast for 24 hours. That's what I would do if you're on the verge of a cold. Okay, let's get to our experiment.
I got one right
Jody's got one digestive enzyme.
Just one.
And I'm not going to have one. Now, what we've got here, we're going to hold it up because we can't see in the camera. We've got 2 cups of pudding that we don't recommend you eat. This is trash. This is garbage food. But yeah, seriously, pudding, it's like doing the whole, who used to do that? Dairy Queen Blizzard. See, it's thick. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that these pudding cups are our stomachs.
Hold mine for a second.
Okay, and wait a minute, and the pudding is the food in the stomach. Now, what we're going to do,
and yours is the control, in that you're not going to put anything in yours, and it's like having a full stomach without having a digestive enzyme.
Yeah, full stomach of cooked food. Now, what we're going to do is pour it into this glass, and you're going to see the difference that a digestive enzyme makes. Okay, so everybody, watch how fast this works. Okay, so Jody just put in the digestive enzyme into the pudding. We're going to churn it up a little bit, as your stomach would do. Churn up the food. Okay, so I don't have a digestive enzyme. Jody does. And keep an eye on the time. Are you keeping an eye on the time? We just put it in, 30 seconds ago?
No, maybe about 20.
20 seconds. Okay, so we're just going to churn it up.
Thank you,
Van is standing by to be our cameraman and then going to answer questions.
I always make sure Van gets on me because every meal I tell him, where's your veggies on your plate? And he's like, Mom, okay, already, veggies. But he even said a couple of weeks ago that he was getting some acid. And I'm like, did you eat your veggies? And he said, no. And I said, well, that's why I tell you to eat your veggies. Yes, they're important, but also because it's going to help you digest your food.
Right.
Well, that's definitely done.
Now, okay, so we're going to pour these out, and then we're going to tell you something about the order in which you should eat your food. Okay?
Go ahead and pour yours out.
Okay, so let's pour it out. Ready? So this is the food in the stomach that did not have a digestive enzyme.
Okay.
It's not coming. Okay, watch this. I'm pushing. Okay. Now, this is with the digestive enzyme. Just one enzyme. Look at that. It's liquid.
It's amazing.
Why is it liquid? It's liquid because the enzymes are breaking things down in the pudding. So we have a clue with this when we talk about serrapeptase. You ever heard of serrapeptase? I talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
It's a proteolytic enzyme. What does that mean? It's an enzyme that breaks down proteins. Pretty obvious. It breaks down dead proteins. So serrapeptase, it's not a digestive enzyme, but I'm using it for an example here. So serrapeptase will break down blood clots. It will break down cysts. It will break down clogged arteries. It will. It just does. It's amazing. And what it's doing is just eating away dead tissue.
Right.
Tissue that your body doesn't need and is in the way. It will not touch live tissue. It only touches dead tissue. So
Athletes. Super important for athletes when you have an injury. It'll eat the dead tissues while you're healing.
Yeah, and it's great for healing as well. Because when Van had a broken toe, remember when he was like 6 years old? We fed him serrapeptase capsules. We put it in like juice and stuff when he was a little kid. But we give that to him every waking hour. Serrapeptase works on an empty stomach because, let's think about this, right? You've learned a little bit about enzymes. Enzymes break down food. If you have no food in your stomach and you take an enzyme, what is it going to do? It's going to look to get rid of protein if it's a proteolytic enzyme. So it's going to search and destroy around the body looking for dead proteins. Now, all proteins end, well, not all proteins, a lot of proteins end in the word ase. So if you hear serrapeptase, that's an enzyme, okay? Amylase is an enzyme that breaks down carbohydrates. Protease breaks down protein. And lipase, you've heard of lipids, breaks down fats. Yeah. Lipase. Okay, so we're going to get onto the back of this bottle in a minute, and we're going to tell you something else that's in here. So, yes, it broke down the food. It broke down, it broke down the nature of the pudding. That's what it does. And so you can tell this is a lot easier to digest because that's what your body's trying to do. It's trying to change it into liquid and push it into your bloodstream. That's why juicing is so good, because if there's nothing in your stomach, you take juice, it's all the nutrients right into the bloodstream. That's why it's so powerful.
It's amazing, though. You eat a full meal, and you take one enzyme, and it just breaks everything down so it goes where everything... And even if you're a really super healthy eater, it's okay to have digestive enzymes. And even if you're a plant-based eater, because what it'll do is it'll break it down faster, it'll digest faster, and everything that you are eating, all the nutrients, are going to go where they need to go faster and more effective.
And efficiently, yeah. And it's going to keep your energy up because you're not going to be spending all of your own enzymes, all of your life force to digest that food. That's what enzymes are, guys. They're the life force. So you can either take the life force from the food to do the job for you and from a bottle, or depend on your own body and deplete your own life source.
Do both.
I don't want to do that, do you?
No, we had a question just a minute ago.
Yes.
Somebody who is already eating a plant-based diet, and should they take digestive enzymes, and would it hurt? Would it benefit? Totally fine.
Why the heck not? Yeah. That's what Billy Weiss says. You don't want to. This is the way he termed it to me.
And who's Billy Weiss?
He's
the one who.
He's the developer of this
and our friend
enzyme. It's beautiful, and he put something in here that's really cool. It comes from an ox, believe it or not, but we'll get into that in a second. He said that taking digestive enzymes is like getting your oil changed in your car and taking it for regular maintenance, not waiting for the emergency lights to come on in your dash. You know you're supposed to take care of it, so you take care of it ahead of time. It's like preventative maintenance. That's what taking a digestive enzyme is.
Well, I take them the way that you just wait for the light to come on, and that's when I take them.
Yeah, but see, you eat a healthy diet, so yours is only an emergency situation, right? Yours is like a flat tire. Got to go fix it, right? So now, what you mentioned about Van, I wanted to mention how, when you said that he had some acid reflux. A good way to avoid this, with any meal, and you can experiment with this if you're saying, gosh, I don't want to take these silly digestive enzymes every day of my life. Well, maybe you don't have to if you do this. Jody mentions she never has to take digestive enzymes. I rarely either as well. I suppose I could, it'd always be more efficient. So yes, I could. But here's my little rule of thumb that I follow every single day. When you start eating something, eat raw stuff first. Why do you eat raw stuff first? Because remember how we mentioned at the beginning of this video, as soon as you start eating something, your body recognizes that there's food coming down and starts sending acid to the stomach, which brings on the digestive enzymes. That's going to take a few minutes. So why don't you eat the foods first that already have their enzymes in place to pre-digest themselves, to make it easier on your body, to give it time to get the acid in there, to bring in the enzymes and activate them. So, and then by that point, 10 minutes into your meal, maybe even less than that, now your body's moving along. The acid's there, the enzymes are there, everything's going full throttle. And you've gotten rid of the raw foods. Now you can eat the cooked foods and not have as much effort.
So what happens if you do things the opposite? What could happen?
Gas, bloating, blah, blah, blah. All the uncomfortable stuff you don't want to have to deal with.
Right.
So now, here's what's in this bottle, okay? Remember, enzymes typically end in the suffix "ase." Okay, so here, check this out. So we're going to have hemicellulase. What's that? Well, that's to it's to break down cellulose, which is basically the fiber in vegetables. So he's added something extra in here, which is great. Protease, which is for protein.
Break down protein,
yep.
So meat.
Amylase, which is carbohydrates, breaks down the sugars. He's got another kind of protease. And we also have lipase, which breaks down the fats, lipids, right? We also have bromelain. You may recognize that. Now, bromelain doesn't end in A's, but you're like, gee, that sounds familiar. Where have I heard that? Pineapple. Bromelain is really helpful for breaking down the inflammation that occurs with athletes. You were mentioning athletes earlier. This is great for athletes, you guys, for recovery in between your workouts.
So that you're not taking your time digesting food. You're going to take your time recovering your muscles more.
Right. So you could take this on an empty stomach. and get rid of all that. So yeah, so now you're thinking, okay, so I'm a big proponent. There's all kinds of debate about game changers. Guys, it's true. It's good stuff.
It's good. The science isn't perfect.
The science...
We'll discuss later.
Anyway, debate, like we said. So anyway, you do a clean diet. Okay, let's agree on that.
Clean.
You do a nice clean diet. Okay, so you keep your proteins within reason. You don't eat too many because they're just going to turn to fat. It's ridiculous. Don't do it. And it makes you susceptible to disease, even as an athlete. Athletes, you don't increase the percentage of your protein when you're an athlete. You increase the calories of your overall meal. You keep the protein where it's at, between about 5 and 10%, no more. Otherwise, you're asking for trouble. Animal protein. Plant proteins, no problem.
Unlimited.
The body likes that stuff. We'll do another video on that some other time. But bromelain will help break down that inflammation so that you can do more workouts and get better training and get ahead of your competitors. That's the whole point. That's the whole reason that that Olympic athletes, even if they're not plant-based, will go to a plant-based diet shortly before the Olympics. So they're like train, and I'll bet you they're doing digestive enzymes too.
They're smart.
Now, there's something in here that's very interesting, is ox bile powder.
Ew.
What is
That is a clean animal, though.
And ox is a clean animal.
Speaking
it's okay.
of which, don't eat bats. But that's another story.
Okay.
Coronavirus.
Oh gosh, no, yeah. And I'm gonna do another video on coronavirus, okay? But first of all, ox bile powder, what does it do? So ox bile powder, the bile, right?
Yep.
So bile helps you digest fats, right?
Okay.
So ox bile powder, he's put this in here because he, being Billy Weiss, he put this in here because he found that folks with who've had their gallbladder taken out have a hard time digesting fats, so that helps there. And guess what else it does? You've heard of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This is folks that eat too many sugars, and it creates, and you don't even really intend to.
Me, no longer.
Yeah, so you can have fat around your organs. That's not good. But
it's not good, but it is put there to protect.
Yes, we're going to say thank God that fat's there. Otherwise, it would be in your organs, and then you'd be really asking for trouble. So if you got non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, the ox bile powder helps to eat away that fat. So isn't that cool? So there's another important...
Maybe I should be taking it more.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. So that's what a digestive enzyme does. You see the difference here between not having it and having it. Breaks down the food.
That's amazing.
It is, isn't it? So now we have a question from Deb. Deb asks, how would you give the enzyme to a child that can't swallow the tablet? Oh, that's easy. Just put it in the food.
Put it in the food, or put it in a little bit, whatever their favorite drink is.
Yeah. I mean,
open the capsule, put it in, stir it up, and have them shoot it.
Yeah, so here's what, and Billy says, take one capsule with the largest meal of your day, or directed by a healthcare professional. Now, hopefully that is a meal that is not toward the end of your day. Dr. Michael Greger, I watched a very interesting video from him recently where the same amount of calories eaten later in the day contribute to weight gain more than eaten earlier in the day. Just because towards the end of the day, your body's starting to shut down, the light outside goes down, your circadian rhythm kicks in and goes, okay, we're going to get ready to go to sleep here. Digestion stops, everything stops, all attention on going to sleep.
Wow.
Yep, interesting stuff. So, put it in the first bite of that child's food. Just do exactly what Jody did here. You saw that she took the digestive enzyme capsule. It's not a caplet. It's not like a Tylenol or something you got to break. You simply open it up, pour out the powder, you're done.
Right.
And it starts working immediately. So there you go. Take it with the first bite of your food so that it will affect everything else that goes in.
I mean, I know you can't give perfect advice on what to put it in for a child, but just get it in them somehow.
Yep. Yeah. We, in fact, if you look at, we posted that PDF of Disney World, didn't we?
Yeah.
So go to our website. We show you how we did this with two younger kids. We did this with the kids in 2011. So Van was all of what? He was born in 2000. Yeah. So he was young.
Yep.
So 7 years old, and we got Barley Max in them before going to Disney World. We had it dialed in.
Right.
For that one trip.
It wasn't easy though. I mean,
for that one trip.
Everything was about burgers and snow cones and everything, and we went to the burger place.
Yep.
And we ate mostly out of the salad fixins
Yeah.
Not the salad fixings, but what they put out to
For the burger.
burger.
We made a salad out of it.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun,
That was
actually.
fun.
All right, so, so put it in the applesauce, Deb. That's a perfect thing to do. Put it in the applesauce right before they eat it. It'll be the first bite. Just tell them it's sprinkles or something.
Yep.
And then start eating. Okay, so, again, Digest 20. In a few minutes, you will see that promo code ready. And go ahead and order them. This is the greatest digestive enzyme we have ever had. We only have the best of the best on Laird Wellness.
Right.
Sometimes the best of the best is from Billy. Some of the times the best of the best is from the Hallelujah Diet or from elsewhere. And even some of them have cross. They each have the same product, but we only pick the best.
Right.
This one is the best. Billy's enzymes are the best. So go ahead and go to lairdwellness.com. Type in Digest 20 and you'll get 20% off. And just a little shout out to the Arkansas Razorback Gymnastics, Woo Pig Suey. They are taking on Mizzou tomorrow night. We are praying for the girls' safety. We are praying that everyone does their best. And we just thank Jordan Weber for coming onto the scene and just making everything great.
Yeah, Woo Pig.
Woo Pig. Okay. We'll see. We'll see you soon. And thanks for watching.